Looks like we're live. All right, so actually let's no, we got a bunch of echo. Okay, well, let's figure that out. Wonder if that fixes it. Maybe not. No, that actually won't. Tell me anything. Oh, maybe that did. Ah, okay. So, there we go. Interesting. All right. Cool. All right. So, I wanted to get a little bit of Storybook going on in this. So, in the Party Corgi chat, we were discussing Storybook. Prince was anyway, and I had asked him if he was using the MDX docs add-on for Storybook, and he said that he wasn't sure what it was, or that not so much that he wasn't sure what it was, but he didn't really see what it is, or how to use it, like what value MDX would bring to Storybook. So I just wanted to mess around with it a little bit, and so I created this, just a Create React app, just real basic, and import, put Storybook in, just basically did the automatic setup for Storybook. So we're pretty much right at that initial state. So I'm gonna start up this app, and we'll start messing around with it. So, and right now it's just base Storybook. We don't have the docs add-on at all. We just have what it gives us. So we just have this example button, and that's just what we're gonna mess around with tonight. So to get started, you just go through this docs page, and we go through the automatic setup. At least that's like the easiest way to get going. The annoying part of, well, it looks like my mouse just died. So switch mice. There we go. And I did not turn on a keyboard. Thank you, Mac. All right, so the funny part about Storybook, if you're using Create React app, like you read through this doc, and it says, oh, if you're doing Storybook, will automatically detect. Oh man, and Loopback just went through. I'm still doing a trial, and now it's very degraded. Okay, let's fix that. Okay. How's that? Did that work? Okay, well, okay. Okay, so it's passing through here. Okay, did that work? Okay, it seems to have worked. All right. So I got another 20 minutes. I'm going to buy a loop bag, but just haven't done it yet. Really, I got the Mac Streamlabs beta and wanted to try it out. So I just threw together some scenes, and so far I've had a lot of bad luck with loopback and just, yeah, it just kept crashing. Streamlabs kept crashing every time I selected an audio input. But I'm sure it'll get better. So, as I was saying, when you do this automatic setup, it tells you to run this command, and it's cool, and it's like, okay, and then you keep going. It says if it fails, do that. But then down here, so the third script it tells you to run, it says if you're using Create React App, just do this command. I was like, oh, okay, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people that are just messing around with something new, and I may be wrong on this, but you're just messing around with a new library, chances are you're going to use Create React App. So maybe, I don't know, maybe not prioritize it over everything else. So maybe that's why it's not first, but it's fine. So we have this button, cool, it clicks. If we go to our app over here, or our Storybook project, and we go to buttons, it's like, okay, sweet. Here's the, the not the stories of format, but here's the component story format that version 5.3, I don't remember what version introduced it, but what we want to do is the docs. So we need to add this dependency, which I believe I already did. So let's check that. And we did not add that yet. So we do have Babel. We have that. We just don't have the docs. So let's add that in there. All right. We'll add that in. And now we wait for a yarn. All right. So okay, that's done. All right, now what else do we have to do? So we need to update our main.js. And let's see. We need to tell it not just JavaScript. We want JavaScript and MDX or MDX. And we also need to add our add-on / add-on -docs. Cool. All right, there's that. So now let's see if Storybook is not going to do this. We need to restart our server. So we have our install, we have preset options, pretty cool. And you can hear my Mac spinning. It's all right. It's actually not as bad as my old one. Okay, so let's kill that and restart it. Okay. once this restarts, I mean, we won't have the, if I remember right, we won't have the docs tab. Oh no, we will have the docs tab, but there's nothing there yet. Like, I mean, so oh, it looks like they did add something. I haven't actually done this with just the base stories that come with it. So, okay, so it looks like it's actually just going to import. There's the button. This is text right here, and then here's the emoji. Okay, so let's add a new file, and we're gonna go with 2 dash let's see what I guess we could just do button mdx dot dx. Cool. So if we go back over here, it should show us what we need to do. This docs show us what we need to do right here. Actually, yeah, we could just copy paste this in here, and I know I named it button, but we can always rename that to checkbox. And if we save, okay, you should have picked that up. Oh, I know what I did wrong. It's not actually just checkbox, it's checkbox of stories .mdx. Now it should pick that up. Oh, whoa. Can't resolve. Oh, okay. Okay, I need a component that looks like, and I know that we have one in, actually, let's see what's in here. So we just have a button. Okay. Well, let's go back over to this one, and instead of doing this, we'll do actually, we'll do this. We'll convert this over. Okay. Decided to cough off audio. So if we do this way, we can do these. We don't actually need to import React, which is nice because MDX. We don't need to do that. So I don't. We will leave the actions. So here, instead of doing export default and putting the title and button, the component, and what the button is, we can actually just do right over here. So we tell it meta, and the docs picks that up as essentially this. So we can do meta title equals button. We'll do MDX button. And we'll do component, and we'll do button. Cool. So if we delete that, and then here we'll just say button. This is we'll do this as a button rendered. Button rendered in Storybook, docs, add-on, and MDX. And then here, instead of having to do all this, we just do preview. And cool. So then we just say story and name equals text button. We don't need the button part, but and then here we can just do button. Actually, we could just do this. Cool. And if we comment this part out, I think it's actually going to show us. Whoa. Okay. Unexpected token 16.1. Okay. Oh, actually, it's in here. Okay, so let's do this. Oops. Okay, and there's another button, but with emojis. All right, and then emoji. Switching. I do not have a Mac keyboard at home, so I keep mixing up the buttons. All right, and that should fix it. But we are, there we go. This thing does have, you know, sometimes it has a little bit of issues. But if we're in the canvas, we see in the normal one, we have text and we have emoji. We click on it, we get our actions. Click on it, we get our actions. If we go over here, click on it, we get our actions still, which is cool. So we're getting the same thing that we did with the regular, but we're doing it with MDX. So instead of doing it this way and exporting components the way we had, and then if we wanted to do any docs, we'd have to do that completely separate. Here we can combine it all into one. So we have our preview, and then if we go into the docs, we have all of it now. The docs will also show you, if you were in like a regular one, just some basic things, but it's essentially whatever renders out here is going to render in a preview by default. And so here, though, we are going to have the same, because ultimately it's the doc for this story. It's not the doc for this specific component. It's just the overall doc. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what this is. I mean, we could. I guess we could do a couple different buttons and then see how much stuff we can get in here. But the nice part too, like we can see the code. Look at that. What you don't get over here, at least I don't remember if you, nope, that's not what I wanted. So yeah, I know you can do like show the code in Storybook, but it is a lot nicer to be able to see it here. And that's the other thing. So if you're using the stories up format, that code that you see is going to be just what you wrote in there. If we go over to our other doc and we look at our code, it is just that component. And you can put, like by default, we don't have any editing. But there are And then the other part too, you can do, you don't have to necessarily do the story. You can do just documentation. So if you don't put a meta, you can just write Markdown and associate with an existing story. So if we wanted to do that, we could do this, and let's copy new file. Okay. One dash button stories dot odx, and in UI define a meta as we normally would, but don't define any stories. And so we can just do import meta. Okay, go back here and okay, so we have our title equals button component equals button, and then we go, here's some documentation about this button, and yeah, we're gonna get an error, it looks like. Okay. Ooh, nice. What happened? What do we got? Let's see. Export const emoji. Oh, I wonder if it's getting tripped up on the normal Storybook one. So CF stories with MDX docs. That might be what we need to do. We want to write our stories in CSF, but we document them in MDX. Here's how we do it. So there we go, and then we have button.stories, button.stories.mdx. Oh, we need to import story still. And, oh, okay, so we need to import our stories. All right, cool. Well, let's do that. So, okay, so story, cool, and import stories from no, one dash button stories.js. Okay, and but I don't want the stories defined there. Okay. Oh, looks like that one's still broken. Let's see. Let's restart our server actually. See if that helps. I don't know if it's going to, but let's read some more of this. So we have that, and then we define out this, but I can define a story. But because it includes stories, they are not actually added to Storybook. Oh no, loopback went off again. All right, hold up. Oof. Okay. Should be good. For another few minutes anyway. Okay, so we have our components. Okay, so if we do it this way, then we have to do this. And so we basically define the stories in the stories.js, and then we import them and render them using the MDX. They won't show up. it saying they won't show up, or they're not actually, but because of include stories as an empty array, they're not actually added as Storybook. Oh, because of this. Okay, so that would be why. Well, what about no. See, that doesn't sound right. Mixing stories up with CSF. No. Okay, so I guess okay. So I guess, yeah, we haven't. So I am using this at work, but I'm going full docs. I'm not using the component story format at all. So I haven't run into any of this. And our old, let's see, our current component library for our design system that we're working on is all in stories of format, and I was converting everything over to component story format, and then with this new like internal user management application that we've been building, I opted to go the MDX docs route because it was a lot simpler. Like, we could have documentation and everything else, just one file, we're done. But if you want to incrementally adopt this without just completely redoing it, you can't really do that. So let's try it this way. So we can put include stories as an empty array, and okay, so it's okay, we don't necessarily need to do this part, but so we do that, and then we need to pull them in. I'm just going to copy paste so that I don't have to keep going back and forth. There's some documentation. Okay, so my story name equals text stories dot text. Oh, nope. Text, and then story. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing again. Story name equals emoji. And then we got stories emoji. Oh, that's gonna break things. Okay. And let's see what I term. Okay, it's rebuilding. Okay, it looks like it's built. So we got that. We have this. Go here. Yeah. Oh, I'm in the docs, that's why. See, we still have our story. And then in our docs we have our two things again, but we didn't actually define like a preview block. So this is a little different than how I have been doing it. So normally you define a preview and then you put your story in. By default, it looks like it just assumes you want to be in a preview block, which is cool. And then you can just copy that code, paste it right into your app or your code. Look at that. Cool. So yeah, so I mean, it's a real quick look at this. I know they have there's some other stuff in here too. Let's see. Controlling a story's view mode. Customize our store snippets. We can do all sorts of stuff. It's pretty cool. So far, I really like it. Let's see. Let's see what else is in this recipe. Okay, oh, I guess that was the file we were just in. Okay, cool. We can do a docs page. Yeah, that's the one that gets all out and aggregates all stories, text descriptions, doc gen comments, props tables, code examples into a single page for each component. It's pretty cool. Let's see here. Where's the experimental feature here? Cool. So yeah, I mean, so this is a quick introduction. It's good. It's a good way to get back into the stream, I guess. Not too bad. All right, and with that, we're gonna sign off.